kicked off their season opener this past weekend, even though you can't see it.
And an insider look at freshman guard Alec Burks.
Women's basketball also had a great game. All that and more coming up on CU Sports Mag.
Welcome back to CU Sports Mag, the first show of 2010. I'm Matthew Sewick alongside Kylie Burks.
That's right. Now, it's been a long break, and I know you've all missed your sports, so let's jump right into those men's basketball highlights.
Colorado took on number 12 Kansas State, and the Buffs are in it to win it. Wildcats defense won't budge whatsoever, though. Dwight Thorne fakes out number 21 here, gives guard Corey Higgins the chance to power it in towards the net for a quick two.
Now that is a great way to start the game. The Buffs are going to keep the momentum going. Corey Higgins goes in, and it's a swish.
Kansas State on the offense pass to Rodney McGruder, who throws it up, and the ball drops into the net.
Buffs ball, they really like their passing game. Nate Tomlinson makes the basket, but there's a foul, and it's no good.
Buffs possession, but a blocking foul stops the play. Goes downhill from here, foul after foul. Over 68 personal fouls in the game. Look at this.
Now that sure adds up to a lot of free throws, 94 to be exact. Kansas State Jacob Pullen has the ball, low dribbler here. Tight pass to Curtis Kelly, goes in for the basket, and it almost pops out.
But this one doesn't. Slam dunk. Buffs couldn't catch the win. Final score, Kansas State 87, Colorado 81.
All right, now you can see our Corey Higgins with the high scoring points of the game, 30 points. I mean, Kansas State couldn't even touch that.
All right, let's look at the postgame.
Hard-fought game. We came up a little short. Kind of sputtered, stopped, and sputtered, and stopped, and started and sputtered, started and stopped, and all that. When you play the quality of competition we're playing, you have to you have to take care of the basketball. We can't have that many turnovers, and we missed free throws. Four less turnovers gives you 4 more possessions, and you score on half those possessions. So you're talking about 4 more points. But those were 2 teams playing very hard.
Women's basketball took on Iowa State Saturday night, and the fans are pumped up. Iowa State gets the game started with high scorer of the night, Allison Lacey.
All right, we have the Buffs passing here, and Bianca Smith trying to find her opening, takes it up for a three-pointer. It's in. This is going to be a close game. And the audience is definitely going to be showing their appreciation. Look at the CU flag in the audience.
That is a nice flag. The Buffs have the ball again. This time freshman Chucky Jeffrey has the ball and searches and finds an opening with Courtney Dunn, who has no problem finding the net.
Iowa State tried to take the ball to the net right here, but finds the floor. The Buffs recover, and Chucky Jeffrey sprints down the court for an easy layup. The Cyclones didn't even see that one coming.
No, they didn't. Danae Stuckey for the Cyclones right here. Goes in for the net, but Chucky Jeffrey is not going to let that happen. She hits the floor, and unfortunately for her, didn't make a single point tonight. Well, that doesn't seem to disappoint the Buff fans.
Iowa State guard Allison Lacey with the ball. Team plays a little catch on the court, passes back to Lacey for a quick two. Lacey will have 32 points for the night. Unbelievable.
That certainly is unbelievable. Well, the CU cheerleaders are getting us stoked for the end of the game. Iowa State again, Allison Lacey with the ball, and I think we all know what she's going to do. Those 2 points bring the final score to 68-62 Cyclones.
Like I said, Allison Lacey from Iowa State was the front runner with 32 points and 8 rebounds.
All right, let's take a look at that postgame.
We just couldn't get into our stuff, and they were not a team that took us out of anything, that denied. We just sort of, kind of moved around the perimeter, weren't very efficient. Bottom line is Lacey hit some big-time shots. We guarded them. We did what we needed to do, and then shot clock winding down. Ball's in Lacey's hands. She either hits a three or she drives and gets to the free throw line. She's one of the best guards in the conference, and she showed tonight why.
The men's basketball team continued Big 12 play as they headed to Stillwater to take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Despite an 11-0 start by the Cowboys, CU was able to close the lead to 7 by halftime. Alec Burks contributed a career-high 24 points, and Dwight Thorne added 15, but the Buffs fell short, losing 90-78. CU continues their road struggles as they extend their conference road losing streak to 31. Colorado will be back in action Saturday as they take on Texas A&M in College Station, Texas. Tip-off is set for 11:30 a.m.
In women's basketball action, Colorado broke an 8-game road losing streak, holding off Kansas State 63-57 in Manhattan, Kansas. The Buffs led early in the second half by 14 points until the Wildcats cut to the lead to 55-54 with just over 3 minutes to play. A three-pointer by Britney Spears quelled the Wildcats' comeback, killing any momentum Kansas State had. Spears also led CU with 15 points and 9 rebounds in Wednesday's conference victory. CU will return to the Coors Event Center on Sunday to face number 12 Oklahoma State.
And after the break, we have some off-season football news that may surprise you.
That's right, and we also have an in-depth look at a freshman basketball player that you've definitely seen on the court. Stay tuned.
Along the baseline, pulls up from 15.
The football team is having a great season, and part of that has to do with our new freshman on the team. Andrew Tomasini hit the court to meet one of the new players.
Burks. Thomas looks at left side, and Burks elevates and slams it down with authority with the right hand. Drives in, plays up top. Burks with 2 in the shot clock, fires and drains a 3-ball from downtown. Down to 5, left side. Burks drives along the baseline, goes airborne, reverse layup is down.
Although just a freshman, phenom Alex Burks seems to have everything under control and laughs at the face of pressure.
That's an unbelievable pressure. Pressure is just an excuse for somebody not making a shot or not doing something. This is my whole life. I never believed in it. That's what I was taught by my mom.
Burks claims he owes it all to his loving mother, but in terms of style of play, where should we begin?
Very fun, athletic, smooth, just like have fun out there. Play aggressive.
And for any freshman,
strong to the rack, goes over the left hand, lays it up and in as he sinked his way by it.
Everybody tell me about that one on campus, I guess
Go to the left side, Burks elevates and slam!
Burks is the only true freshman in the country to score double digits in each game this season, making it clear that this young buff from the Show Me State is showing us his worth on the hardwood. For CU Sports Mag, from the Coors Event Center, Andrew Tomasini.
Burks drives in the lane, scoops it up and in off the glass, and he draws the foul. Can you believe?
First, it was Josh Smith. Then it was Daryl Scott. And now Demetrius Sumler has announced that he will be leaving the football program at CU. Sumler, who averaged 3.5 yards per carry over his career in Colorado, wants to use his final year of eligibility to play for a school in need of a more experienced tailback. He is the 9th scholarship player to leave the team in the past calendar year. Sumler's decision to transfer leaves the Buffs thin at running back for next season. Starting cornerback Jimmy Smith will be returning to Boulder next year. The announcement was made Saturday that Smith chose not to apply to the NFL draft and will continue to play for CU. Smith had written to the NFL advisory board to see what round he would be selected for if he entered the 2010 draft as an underclassman. Smith only wanted to join the draft if he was expected to be drafted in the 1st or 2nd round. Being 5th on the team in tackles last season makes Smith a welcome addition to the Buffs next year.
2 redshirt freshmen were caught red-handed in separate incidents last month. Backup quarterback Clark Evans was ticketed on December 14th for possession of less than an ounce of marijuana and drug paraphernalia. Meanwhile, offensive lineman Gus Handler was issued a summons for stealing 2 headbands from the campus bookstore on December 16th. Handler accidentally left a credit card at the scene, which helped campus police identify him as the suspect. Associate Athletic Director Dave Platty says Coach Dan Hawkins is aware of the incidents and discipline will follow once the cases are settled.
The University of Colorado Alpine Ski Team started the season off right, winning the first meet of the year at the Montana State Invitational on Sunday. Although the Buffs didn't have an individual winner, the men and women combined 21 top 10 finishes over the weekend. The men's side was led by junior Gabriel Rivas, who finished 3rd in the slalom, while sophomore Eric again led the women's team with 5 top 5 finishes. The CU Nordic skiers head to Park City this weekend for the Utah Invitational. All right, now coming up after the break, we have your favorite, the trivia question.
And women's tennis starts their season out right against Air Force. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to CU Sports Mag. Now we have some great double team action for you, don't we, Matt?
That's right. We actually have David Starcer and Matt Hanlon who are on the double team set. They're going to talk a little bit about the key players in the men's basketball team. So take it away.
Hi, and welcome to Double Team. David Starcer sitting alongside Matt Hanlon. Matt, we're here for the first 5 minutes of 2010, and we're here to talk about numbers 5 and 10 for the CU men's basketball team. A couple of new faces already making some big-time contributions. Let's start with number 5, Marcus Relford.
Marcus Relford, JUCO transfer from Indian Hills in Iowa, Chicago native. Now, he's really bounced around going from program to program, where'd he start? At a prep school?
Prep school in Pennsylvania, went to St. Louis for a little bit. Yeah, he's been everywhere.
So he's not really gotten too much into a program and kind of worked with the other guys and got some continuity with this team. So finally, he's starting to settle in. You can see he's starting to settle in and get more comfortable with the offense that they run here with Jeff Bisdelic and the Princeton-style offense. And originally, at the start of the season, Maui Invitational and stuff like that, non-conference games, he was more of a shooter looking to shoot all the time. And that's not really his game. He's a big guy. He's what?
6'7", 220, something like that.
Something like that,
yeah. He's muscle on him.
Big guy, he can throw his weight around. And finally, I think he realized, maybe Bisdelic talked to him. He said, hey, I'm going to start driving down the lane. I'm going to make them, force me to inside and then, use my body, get some fouls, go to the foul line. And then also they got to, protect against me driving. So maybe that's when my shot will start falling. I can give a little heat check, make him respect the respectful drive and then also the shot. So his shots are finally starting to fall. He's scoring in double digits and the rebounds are coming along with it.
And you can start to see that kind of paying forward for him in terms of recognition. He was named the co-rookie of the week in the Big 12 this past week for his games against K-State and Baylor, and hopefully he can keep that going for the rest of the Big 12 slate. As for the other guy, number 10, Alec Burks, this kid, unbelievable. Like I said, he was the Gatorade Player of the Year coming out of high school in Missouri. And, we know what he can do here on the local level, but now he's starting to make his name known nationally with some of these big plays. Seems like he's on ESPN for the past couple of games they've had.
Yeah, in that Baylor game, he had that reverse layup, and that was actually number 4 out of the top 10. So it's good to see, people are starting to see that, and then it also carries over to recruits seeing that, which can be very beneficial to this young team. But Alec Burks, what are some of the things he's been doing this year that's impressed you?
Well, so obviously, he's a big assist guy, but he's tall. He's 6'6", I think. That's tall for a point guard. And he's so aggressive when he takes into the hole there. He's making plays for his teammates. And he's become really Corey Higgins' sidekick, that viable number 2 option that this team really hasn't had, the past few years, under the Jeff Bisdelic system. And he's definitely become, like I said, that number 2 man on the team. The thing is, though, he's a little bit laxing on the defensive end. He's a young guy, he's a freshman, and I kind of think, I don't know what you think, but I think that's something that kind of encompasses this whole team, is they're just still a really young team that needs to come out mature a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. They need to mature both on the offensive side and the defensive side. There's Higgins and Thorne. They're always matched up against the really solid offensive players. You saw them against Clemente and Pullen for K-State. And when I was watching it, I saw Alec Burks get beat a lot, on easy just crossovers or backdoor cuts, and he was kind of lax on the defensive side, but really trying to step it up on the offensive side. One thing that I saw from him especially in that K-State game, with both him and Relford, was missing the free throws at the end of the game that really could have, kept it close or maybe even, pushed them to a win against number 12 Kansas State.
Well, now they are in the midst of a 2-game road streak. First, they went to OK State on Wednesday night, lost that one. It was a tough one. They fell into an early 11-0 hole and could never recover from that. Gave up Marshall Moses for OK State, had 20 points and 18 rebounds. And that's weird because, actually, Oklahoma State is a team that Colorado has a size advantage over. Now they're going in to take Texas A&M, another team with a lot of big bodies. What are they going to do to kind of get that first road win? And I think it's like 23 or 24 games now.
Well, it doesn't help, when they run the Princeton-style offense. It's a lot of passing, outside cutting, and it's, around the three-point line, and with the big man at the free throw. So those guys are already inside, the defensive players, so it's easier for them to crash on the boards. So that's going to be difficult for them. They got a key on crashing as a team, trying to get second point opportunities, putbacks, easy points, and then also there's a lot of cutting involved, in the Princeton-style offense. Look for cuts that aren't, designed in the plays.
Right, yeah.
I saw a play where Corey Higgins drove the lane, got double-teamed, and then, Shane Harris-Tunks was trailing right behind him. He could have dished. It would have been, a flush dunk.
I guess that's, again, just a result of them being kind of a young, immature team. Hopefully they can get things turned around here now that conference season is sort of, getting into play. And if nothing else, they'll be a real fun team to watch because a lot of these young guns definitely make the highlight reel.
Yeah.
That'll do it for us this week. We'll go ahead and send it back to the desk.
Thanks, guys. The Buffs track and field teams will start their season strong this Friday and Saturday at the Potts Indoor Invitational. CU will host the meet at Balch Fieldhouse, inviting teams from CSU, Air Force, Colorado School of Mines, and other Front Range schools. The meet will include running events from 60 to 3,000 meters, women's pentathlon and men's heptathlon races, and most field events. 36 men and 34 women will compete for the Buffs, standing out as they defend their home turf.
The women's tennis team opened up their spring season Saturday against the Air Force Academy. CU was home to start their playing season at the indoor courts located at the Millennium Hotel. Monica Milewski started off strong for the Buffs and went 2 straight sets over Christine Moling. That win moved Milewski up to the 9th overall spot on the win list for the Buffs, tied with Nathalie Dickinson. Senior Melissa Esposito followed suit with 2 wins as well, both with a score of 6-2 over her opponent Hannah Drake. With a couple of nice kill shots and despite almost slipping and falling, Esposito was able to regain her composure and secured the victory. Even with Camilla Balassi's slow start, losing her first set 0-6, she fought back to eventually win the match with a score of 6-4 of her second set and ended the match convincingly with a score of 6-0 in her third and final set. The final score of the matchup was 6-1 in favor of the Fighting Buffaloes over Air Force.
Colorado soccer star Nikki Marshall was drafted to 7th overall to the Women's Professional Soccer League by the Washington Freedom on January 15th. Marshall played forward for the Buffaloes and also played defender for the United States Under-20 national team. Marshall is Colorado's all-time leading scorer with 93 points on 42 goals and 9 assists. As a defender, Nikki helped the United States win the 2008 world title in Chile. The Freedom will begin their 2010 campaign on April 10th against the Boston Breakers.
Here at CU, we love that our football stadium is right on campus, but very few people know that it wasn't always in the same location. That brings us to this week's trivia question. Where was the original CU football stadium located on campus? Think about it, and we'll let you know the surprising answer later in the show.
All right, and after the break, we have our Man on the Street by our very own Morgan Presson. We went inside the UMC to kind of get some student opinions on spring sports.
That's right, and we're also going to see what the weather's like for this weekend, so make sure you don't change the channel. CU's spirited mascot Chip brought home another national championship last Friday. Chip competed against 11 other universities at the National Mascot Competition in Orlando, Florida. Big J from Kansas and Sparty from Michigan State were among the competitors. Successfully defending his #1 title from 2009, Chip set the standard for future mascot performances. He won the judges over with superior crowd appeal and enthusiasm. Chip attended the competition alongside the CU Express dance team, who took 3rd place in their division.
Spring sports are already underway with the Winter Olympics right around the corner. CU Sports Mag's Morgan Presson got some student opinions in this week's Man on the Street.
Thanks, guys. It's a little bit chilly outside, so we decided to move inside to the UMC for our first segment of CU Sportsman Man on the Street. And here we are at the UMC interviewing students, employees, and even some team players. Do you think that CU should have a soccer and or baseball team?
Yes. I do.
Okay.
It's got to give equal opportunities to all the sports.
Baseball's like the American pastime.
I would say no, because we actually have a lot of decent baseball teams in the state already.
Who is your favorite men's CU basketball player?
Can we vote Coach Harrington?
You can.
Because he's the girls' basketball coach.
You're
That's the only guy we know.
know.
Coach Harrington, raise your hand for Coach Harrington. Yeah, go Coach Harrington.
Levi Knudsen.
Okay. And yourself?
Yeah, the same. Levi.
Does Levi Knudsen still play? There's a friend of mine always is talking about that guy. I don't even know.
Why do you think that Chip got #1 mascot for the 2nd year in a row?
Why? Because Chip is fantastic. I don't know. He really energizes the crowd. He's a fun mascot, I guess. So yeah.
I don't know who Chip is.
I don't know. He does more than just stand by the side and come into the crowd and stuff.
As you can see on this chilly winter day inside the UMC, Buff Spirit is seen throughout all students, faculty, and even a Juneau basketball team from Alaska. Reporting, Morgan Preston, CU Sports Mag.
Thanks, Morgan. You've been waiting so patiently for the answer to the trivia question, and the time has finally come. We asked, where was the original CU football stadium located on campus? The answer is at Euclid Auto Park. Before Folsom Field was built in 1924, the CU football team played at a stadium where Euclid Auto Park is currently located.
CU Sports Mag has a new and improved website up this week. The new professional template offers reporter blogs, web articles, pictures, polls, and more. You can also get to know your Sports Mag reporters on a more intimate level through the personal bios for each member. And if you happen to miss a weekly show, no worries. Every Sports Mag will be embedded on the website for viewing at any time. If you're interested in joining or just can't get enough of CU Sports Mag, check out www.cusportsmag.com for more information.
You know, Matt, I'm really interested in what the weather is like for this weekend.
All right, let's take it away. Samantha Holt has the weather for the weekend.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to the new season of Sports Mag. We bet you've missed your weekly forecast. So let's take a look at what's going on in the nation this weekend as far as weather. First off, we've got a pretty clear area in Colorado up where we are. But in western Colorado, it's looking a little more rainy, a little more icy. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with any of that this weekend. And we especially don't have to deal with any of this stuff going on in California, which is nice. And as far as temperatures in Boulder, we're looking at some mid-40s and low 30 on Sunday. But on Friday, we have a slight chance for rain, but not too much to worry about because it's only a 10% chance. And as far as your weekend, it's just simply looking partly cloudy, so it might be a great time to get outside, maybe do some hiking if you have a light jacket, or you might consider going skiing or boarding up in Vail. Vail just got a nice layer of fresh powder, and it's looking really nice up there. They have a really good base, and as any skier or boarder knows, fresh powder is an ideal way to ride. So also a good resort is Arapahoe Basin, and they don't have as much fresh powder coming, but they do have a nice base, and it's just a nice area. I like it a lot myself. And as far as the last ski resort we have today is Keystone, and once again, that's actually a little nicer than A-Basin, I think, and just a little more of a drive. They've got the gondolas and not so much fresh powder either, but it's looking like a good base and just a really beautiful area. So if I can make a suggestion for this weekend, would head outside, enjoy the weather, and have a nice weekend.
Well, you know what? I definitely think that I'm going to take that advice. Are you heading up skiing this weekend at all?
That's the plan. I definitely want to get in some skiing this weekend.
Wonderful. I know that I'm thinking about heading up to Vail. What about you, Matt?
I think Vail as well. So, yeah, maybe I'll see you up there. For Matthew Stewick, Kylie Burks, and Samantha Holt, this was the first edition of CU Sports Mag for 2010.
K-State and Baylor really kind of helped carry the load against